Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi semuanya. Di pertama-tama saya mengucapkan terima kasih ke Pak Syarif Hidayat dan juga Bu Fadila yang sudah bersedia meluangkan waktunya 1 jam bersama kami untuk belajar bersama Pak Syarif dan Ibu Fadila. Di di serial diskusi Digital Humanities di Indonesia. Ini adalah kerjasama antara Jurnal Digital Muslim Review dan Indonesian Institute for Digital Humanities, satu organisasi yang masih imajiner. Terima kasih saya sampaikan juga ke kawan saya Ahmad Habibi Syahid, kemudian Ibu Nur Ismah dan juga Saifur Rahman yang menggunakan nama akun Asad. Hari ini kita akan belajar tentang kehidupan minoritas Muslim eh, di Afrika, di Korea Selatan. Bagaimana mereka menghadapi tantangan berkaitan dengan halal. Insya Allah the presentation will be delivered in English because we have audience who contacted us for the discussion. Hopefully Pak Syarif and Ibu Fadilah will be willing to present the presentation in English, and then the discussion itself could be in Indonesian or in English. Kepada Pak Syarif dan Ibu Fadilah, the time is yours.
Oke, thank you Pak Ade. Can I share the
Ya,
PowerPoint?
ya.
Wait a minute.
The share from Pak Syarif or Bu Dila? You want to be share?
Di akunnya Pak Syarif ya, Pak?
Bu
Okay.
Fadilah, could you please
Review.
ya klik di review button.
F5.
Review button. Oh, wait.
Ya. It should
Ya,
be
thank
shown.
you.
Ah ya. Ya, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrahli sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you to the committee or organizer who organized this activity. It's such an honor for me to be here, inviting as the speaker, together with the co-author, Bapak Syarif Hidayat. So, and also for the all audience or the participants that join in this discussion session. And I think the topic for today is not difficult topic. You don't think too much about this topic. Yeah, this is the slightly topic, about the halal food. About the halal food, or maybe for us as the Muslim societies that live in Indonesia, the halal food is not a big issue, yeah. But for the Muslim society or the Muslim students that live in the another countries like in Korea that have the Muslim as the minority will be as the big issue for them. Yeah, I like the introductory word that said together with the flyer. Yeah, the committee invite the reader to imagine, how if we live in country that have Muslim as the minority. because the food is very basic need for us. Um, and for Muslim, yeah, we have several criteria for the basic, for the criteria for the food that we consume. Yeah, not only health, not only clean, but also it must be following the Sharia. It means halal. So, starting from for this discussion today, yeah, let me introduce myself first. Okay, my name Fadila Octaviana, and today I'm not alone. Yeah, I'm together with the co-author, Bapak Syarif Hidayat, and yeah, we will present our article. And actually, this article has been published in the journal Digital Muslim Review, if I'm not mistaken, in the end of year 2024. Yeah, correct, yeah, Pak Abe, Pak. And fortunately, this article is winding the what is it, the competition, yeah. Okay, the competition. Well, I think yeah, I will present yeah together with the co-author is about 30 minutes or how many minutes? Okay. Uh yeah, will explain to you.
You could present as long as you wish, but no more than an hour.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, talking about the halal food. eh, as I said before, for Indonesian society, for Indonesian society, is not a big issue, but for students or the someone that live in the country that have Muslim as the minorities, is will be a big issue. So for today's, we will try to explain to you about why halal food access is such a pressing issue for the Muslim students in the South Korea, because the study conducted in the South Korea, especially in Gangwon University, which is located in the Samcheok. It's about 4 until 5 hours from Seoul. We know in the Seoul, we still find we we are still easy to find the halal food, but actually only for the specific place, not only in a place in all place in the Seoul. But in the Samcheok, yeah, I think most of the society there, yeah, non-Muslim. So when I conduct this data, I only interview the 8 participant, yeah, from the students at the Kangwon University. And for all of students, yeah, that study in the Kangwon University, I only get not get, but only 8 Muslim students, yeah, that study in the Kangwon University. Okay. Beside, I will explain about a pricing issue for the Muslim student regarding to the halal food. Yeah, we will also introduce the 2 mobile application that rely on MOS. Yeah, maybe you have a planning to go to Korea. Yeah, for any purposes. Yeah, for traveling and any others. This application is very recommended for you to install. Yeah, to cover your need, especially for the halal food. And the last is we want to show how we measure their acceptance by using technology acceptance model that developed by the Davis. Okay, we come to the background. If you see on my slide, yeah, firstly, talking about the context, the Muslim students studying abroad face a real challenge, yeah, especially for the country have the Muslim as the minorities, yeah, like maintaining Islamic dietary requirement that far from home, and the second one is we know that the South Korea's Muslim population have grown quickly. Yeah, quickly. And the recent estimates put it above 200,000. And many of them Yeah, many of them are international students from Muslim majorities countries. But unfortunately, yeah, the Korean cuisine, yeah, wonderful as it is, the frequently featured pork and non-halal meats and halal labeling is often unclear. Of course, it is different condition with situation in Indonesia where the what is it, the logo, the label of the halal is clear and it must be put on every product. Yeah, so we can decide easily, yeah, to get the product. And yeah, fortunately, we live in Indonesia. We have to say thank you to the God because we born and live in Indonesia. Besides another problems, yeah, we close our eyes first for now. uh, ada ada suara yang bocor. Okay, let me continue.
Ya,
Yeah, yeah. In the Korea, the halal labeling, yeah, usually or often unclear because of I think it because of the, yeah, situation there, or because of the government there not really concerned about that because, yeah, as we know that the South Korea have Muslim as the minorities. Beside the unclear, for the Muslim product is very, for the halal product is very difficult and also costly, yeah, to get the halal label. It is different with Indonesia. um yeah, with Indonesia. And this is based on my, what is it, my experience. Yeah, last year, UIN, especially UIN SMH Banten, together with the MUI, yeah, provide the halal food certification for UMKM. And it is free. Yeah, so we can imagine the different situation between Korea and Indonesia. Okay, next, as our source note, the simply locating halal food that meets religious requirement can be formidable task. Yeah, actually, this topic of the research is starting from the casual discussion with the second author when they go to the Korea for the first time. Yeah, because the food is a very basic need for us. So yeah, I asked him how to handle the halal food. Yeah, and thanks also for today because we live in the technology era where the technology really helped us. Yeah, one of them is like the there's so many application that we can use, yeah, to cover that problem. Next, yeah, still about the background, this mismatch can create a sense of the isolation and act as a barrier to integrating into the local community. Yeah, and it will be, yeah, that is the human problem at the center of our study. Well, I continue to the opportunities and the challenge about the halal food in South Korea. Yeah, before I focus on the students, on the students that uh yeah, as the participant, yeah, as the user, as the one that uh find or uh, have a problem regarding to the halal food. It helped to see the bigger landscape first. There is a genuine momentum here. The Korea's halal market was worth roughly 11.5 billion US dollars in the 2024 and is projected to grow more than 6% a year. And the Muslim-friendly venues have increased about 150% since 2020, and the opportunities are clear. Yeah, the first one, rising Muslim tourists and growing resident population. Yeah, the second one, how the government support through the Korean tourism organization. And also another opportunities like the Korean to export potential, yeah, for the key food brand like ramen is very familiar, yeah. Yeah, and any others food, yeah, that familiar in our country too. I mean Korean food that familiar in our country too. And the last is for the opportunities, creative marketing through self and also maybe influencer. And for the challenges, yeah, for the challenges, we see in here actually equally real. The first one, like there is no government of the halal authority, so the certification, as I said before, to get the halal certification in Korea is difficult and also costly. It is different with our country, yeah. And then yeah, only 15 fully KMF, yeah, Korean Muslim Federation, yeah, that certified restaurant in nationwide, and the pork is dietary staple, real cross contamination on risk, and the last is, as I said before, yeah, about the certification, and also cultural and the language barrier. Okay, next about the halal food as a pillar of the sustainability. Yeah, I think why this topic is important to be discussed because today, uh, yeah, we have so many opportunities to go to the some countries, yeah, any kinds of the countries, yeah, and we have to keep, yeah, we have to keep our, what is it? Yeah, our mind that halal food is a must, yeah, to consume. So before we go to the some countries that we think that the countries is difficult to find halal food, so we have to find the solution here. So talking about the halal food, yeah, I want to frame the halal food within the broader lens about the sustainability. Beyond religious complaints, halal interests with the sustainability in three reinforcing ways. The first one is economic, the second one is environmental, and the last is the social and cultural. Yeah, for the economically, the global halal economy, we know it fast growing and digital platform broaden access and they support it can support um, the producer and the small businesses and environmentally the halal principles, ethical sourcing, human treatments of animals, cleanliness, and toyib. Yeah. Yeah, this is the one criteria, another criteria of the food, yeah, for the Muslim, and the avoidance of the was aligned closely with the responsible consumption and the food safety. And for socially and culturally, reliable halal access sustain religious identity, dignity, and belonging for minorities. Or maybe in the discussion session, yeah, I also want to listen, what is it, Pak Pak Ade, yeah, experience when you live in, tinggal di mana Pak? Studi di mana?
In
Belanda?
the Netherlands.
Ay, okay. Yeah,
Together
about
with
the halal food there.
Ibu Nur Isma.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, will be nice discussion, yeah. Well, let me continue to the next slide. Uh, Now, yeah, there is a question that appear. Yeah, how does the Korean society itself perceive the halal food? Yeah, we can see from several aspects like the historically awareness was low in non-Muslim majority society. Yeah, but today the perception are shifting. Yeah, among non-Muslim Korean consumer, research show that purchase intention is driven less by the religion and more by practical values. Yeah. If we maybe look at the social media, there is someone that non-Muslim, but they don't want to eat like a frog. Yeah. Well, the halal is seen as the healthier choice, and for the safety,
Yeah.
yeah, we strict the handling signal food safety, and for the clean lines, hygiene or TOEIC build consumer trust, and for the ethic, yeah, human animal treatment resonates. And importantly, the studies also link positive attitude toward halal food with higher food and life satisfaction. Yeah, so the cultural ground is gradually becoming more favorable. Yeah, even in gaps in understanding remain. Okay. I never lived for a long time in Korea, but I got this information from the second author, yeah, and also I think any kinds of information we can access now, yeah, by using internet, yeah, and technology. So let me give you a little bit explanation regarding to the halal industry in the Korea. Yeah, certification raised with the Korean Muslim Federation is actually founded at the 1962, yeah, 62, through its halal committee, yeah, with the Ministry of the Agricultural Cooperating, yeah, because of the full certification is the rigorous and expensive, yeah. So the Korea Tourism Organization introduced a four-level classification. Yeah, four-level classification in 2016. Yeah, the first level this is the highest level. The product get the certification. Yeah, it been certified by recognized like the KMF, Korean Muslim Federation. And the second level is self-certified. Yeah, the Muslim owned by not externally certified. Yeah, for the visitor or the foreigner, it is difficult to believe, yeah, if we don't know about, I mean, the owner, yeah, the owner. Even though they promise that the food is halal. Yeah, but this is included in the second level of the certification, means self-certified. And for the third level is Muslim friendly, mean the halal dish on the menu, yeah, but the alcohol may be served. Yeah, there is a menu, the halal food, but we don't know about the utensil that they use, yeah. Um, and this problem will be helped by the application, yeah, because when I go to Korea and I scan, there is no label of halal, but there is no information of the fork for that product, yeah. So to release, yeah, our uh, confusing about that food, yeah, we use the app to we use the app, yeah, to scan, yeah, to scan the information of the food, and we get the information is not only this food is halal or not, but also another information like is the utensil used together with the halal food or with the non-halal food or not. So it very benefit, yeah, and useful for us as the foreigner or maybe the Muslim students that live there. Okay, we're talking about the halal food in the halal industry in the Korea. The Korea holds about 4.65% on the global halal meat market and is projected to have the highest growth rate among the key market until not until but through 2033. Okay, and now we're talking about the mobile application as the bridge. The mobile application that we will discuss more in this session. Yeah, but before that, yeah, I invite you to say Hamdallah again because we live in the era that the technology developed fast because the growth of the technology, um, the problem that maybe several years ago cannot be handled, cannot be solved but today we can solve it easily. Okay, so with the limited certified option, as I explained you before, and the complex landscape, so how the Muslim students, the Muslim society can solve and can cope. And yeah, related to the topic of today, I will explain to you about the two app that very useful for the foreigner, yeah, for the visitor or the Muslim students. Um, yeah, talking about the app. Well, increasingly, yeah, through mobile application. And this app have become indispensable digital tool and doing for thing. Yeah, so this is information for you that the app that we will discuss or explain to you is not only to have the function for the deciding that the food is halal or not, but actually the application provides some what is it? Yeah, some benefit, yeah, feature. Yeah, some benefit feature. Like number one is located. Uh, the app can identify or give us information about the halal, yeah, certified restaurant or maybe the grocery stores with accurate and up-to-date information. And the second one, confirm the halal status of the product instantly. Yeah, you just go to the market, you bring your mobile phone, make sure that have internet connection, and if you worried that the food is non-halal, or maybe you cannot read the information because of what is it, language use, yeah, not familiar for you, you just can, yeah. And then the third is connect, foster community through reviews, discussion forum, and start recommendation. And the last is about integrate, support religious practice like prayer times, Qibla direction, and nearby mosque. Yeah. Next, we come to the research objective. Yeah, as I said before in the first word, this is not the, what is it, that difficult issue. Yeah. Um, this is the slide topic, yeah, to discuss. Yeah. So in this article, I only propose three research objective. Yeah. The first one is identify the usage and the preferences of the app. The second one is I want to evaluate, yeah, the two app that get the highest score, yeah, to see the assess acceptance and the usability by using the thumb framework, yeah, that are four uh, categories. And the last is examine the social integration. Yeah, we explore about how this application foster community engagement and also the social integration for a minority group. Okay, we come to the methodology. Firstly, I'd like to conduct the method by using the case study. But because I need the case study more closely with the qualitative, yeah, because I want to know the most use of the app, the most use of the app, so I must use the questionnaire, and also I want to use, yeah, the acceptance, yeah, from the participant. So I need the questionnaire. So I choose the mixed method exploratory design. So the first I take the quantitative data and then I take the qualitative data to know the participant respond, the participant perception, yeah, regarding to the app that used to cover the problem of the halal food. Okay, we come to the participant. Yeah, I use the Muslim students at the Kangwon University, which is located in the Samjok. Yeah. Another location of the KNU, yeah, there is also in Seoul. Yeah. Maybe if I take the I mean, maybe if I take the research in the KNU in the Seoul, maybe I will get the more sample. But I only get the 8 Muslim students in the KNU in the Samchok especially. So I use the purposive sampling, and yeah, I use the interval of the frequency with the classification like excellent, very good, good, poor, and very poor. Yeah. Okay. I think my turn is enough. Now I will take turn to the second author. Okay. Thank you. Or I give it back to the host or directly presenting the slide.
Yeah, we can directly move to the second presenter.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Fadila. And then the second presenter is Pak Syarif, who is also Ibu Fadila's husband.
Oke, 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 boleh. Oke, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Pak Ade, for this sharing session. Maybe so before I start for my presentations, I will introduce for myself first. So my name is Sarif Hidayat, and I'm doing PhD. No, this year I have finished for my PhD in South Korea. Actually, the my study is focusing on renewable energy, and one of the topic is about sustainability and the social impact analysis for during or for my study of a PhD. So for the next presentation is maybe I will start for the simple question. So which the halal food apps do student use? This data is based on the some interview from the student about what actually the apps student use. From the data, we can find the result is dominated by MoveCo and the MobPay, and the remaining is Halal Korea and the Travel Halal Korea. So we can see the MoveCo and MobPay. So I will introduce who is the behind the development for these apps. The first is the MoveCo. The MoveCo apps is coming from the university research projects. Actually, is the from the student and the professor to develop the apps with funding from the Korean Muslim Federation and the Korean government. So the development behind the MoveCo is from the Indonesian development apps. Uh, Maybe if I'm not mistaken, the name is the Naufal from the Pukyong National University. He developed this app with the Kim Min Sob, his professor, to develop these apps to see the give the contribution from the Halal Korea. And the second of the apps is the MobPay. MobPay is the app is coming from the industry, not from the academic research. Is the from the in Sengli, I think, if I'm not mistake his name. So it's from the company, the name, I forgot the name actually. So this is from the halal marketplace. So the core of the MobPay is the halal marketplace in Korea. So this is like the online shop for the halal in Korea. So the third one is the Halal Korea. Halal Korea also is this development, the apps coming from the business perspective. So the development is Kim Namgi. So the most of the development behind this is non-Muslim. So they developed this halal for the Muslim help to this one. So this is the halal Korea is Kim Namgi to develop this. It is similar with the MobPay, so to find the halal markets. The last one is the halal travel Korea. So this app also is coming from the business perspective also. But the last one is focusing on the tourism halal. So this app is supported by Ministry of the Korean Tourism, because as long I know the office for this app is the name of the company is the Next Unicorns, and the building for this office is the uh in the Ministry of the Tourism in South Korea. So let's we start for the picture of this app. For the first, maybe we can see from the Moveco first. The Moveco apps is more powerful compared to other apps because only Moveco app they have the halal barcode scanner. There is no one there. They have a lot of halal database in this app. So because the Korean Muslim Federation and the Korean government they develop the halal database food for in the Korea, so they can scan if we go to the supermarket on the market, so we can scan it, and then the halal information we can get. So if we cannot find the halal uh, if we cannot scan the halal barcode, we just scan the ingredient from the food. For example, if we scan and then the halal information we cannot find from this app, so the second alternative is we can take picture from the ingredients. So maybe wait 1 minute. So the result we can get the information about ingredient, and then also how this food production. So how this food can produce it mixed with pork or not or something. So if there is no halal information, only this is that's why this is the advantage of the Moveco compared to other apps. And the second is the restaurant directory is also if we want to find the Korean restaurant the halal, so we can select these pictures. So we can find the nearest restaurant around us. So we can go the restaurant with the halal restaurant in the nearest. Is not there is not long forum for us, and then using this app we can find. And also the third one is the mosque and prayer room. And also, if we go to Korea, some province or some city, so we can use this app and the selects. They can give information where is the room for the prayer. So this app can give information about this. So then the nearest, like in Indonesia, if you want to find the musola, so just easy. But in here, if you want to find the uh, room prayer spot, we can use this app. So they can give the room spot which the room can give. So we cannot pray without the disrupt the social activity. So they can give the give this suggestion something. And the fourth is we can the prayer times, and also if we don't know the time from the prayer, and also this app can give this information. And also the fifth is discussion forum. So if we cannot find the halal information, so we can ask to the forum. Maybe if some member from this forum online, they can give information directly, so we can find. And the last is there is no advertisement because the funding to develop this one is supported by Korean Muslim government and also Korean Muslim Federation like MUI in Indonesia. This is the MOVCO, and the second one is uh, strength and limitation. Maybe we can see from here from the strength for this app is there is no ad and free to download, and also user friendly, and all support for all of the Muslim requirement to find our religious. And what for the limitation is the major of the limitation is halal database. So now the Korean Muslim Federation is I think is very active to find the to improve the database, because this F is collaborate with the Korean Muslim Federation like MUI in Indonesia to develop the halal database, to get more database halal in these apps. So the Korean Muslim Federation and also this company is uh, active to improve the database. So this is the sum of the limitation. So it need to continue updating. So continue to updating. Maybe the limitation the to continue the updating is the funding to get the database, because if we increase the database, so we need more space and then more room for these apps. So discussion sometimes, yeah, discussion forum is not active sometimes. So because maybe the some of the member is very busy for the activity, sometimes we need long time to get the response. So sometimes some of the food is not up to date for the halal certifications. Some of the kind of the food and also need to up to date. Also need there is no desktop version, because maybe we can endorse to develop to develop the desktop version, so we can download the halal database, so in the offline version. So we need to online, so we need internet connection to access the halal database for these apps. So for the MobiPay, this app is strong in the halal market. So it's different from the Movco. This app is like Shopee in Indonesia, maybe like Shopee or Tokopedia, to buy and then to order some halal food from these apps. These apps in here is they have some when I during PSD I use this app, is very nice, because this app is sometimes is they give the sedekah. For example, if the food 6 months before expire, they should be sometimes they give sedekah, because they have the owner give the some, because the owner this one is non-Muslim, but they give some regulation for the store. If the store can give sedekah, maybe they give some maybe some potential discount for this app. I don't know. I don't understand for the how the owner to the store to give the some benefit for this case. But for last time I bought the beef, they give some sedekah like sarden something, because 6 months before expire, they give some sedekah, depend on the store. And also the advantage in the South Korea is the government South Korea is they have regulation for the basic food. The daily for if we want to buy the basic food for all, not only for the halal, this is for the basic food. For the delivery, no more than 1 day, should be below 1 day for the delivery. So they have delivery priority for the basic food. For example, if we buy from Seoul to the, for example, to the Samsok is very far, need 3 hours. But if you want to, sometimes is the for the delivery no more than for the 1 day for the basic food. This is the rule of the government, because to save the 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 food security from the Korea regulation. So the third is the personal care. So if we worry about like cosmetic, to buy some cosmetic in South Korea, but it's halal not, this app also can give some recommendation, the cosmetic, halal cosmetic something. Some this is the trusted free and something. This is the strength and limitation from this app. the MoPay they have database product database because this this concept is they have cooperation is different with the MoPay. MoPay they develop the halal database, but from MoPay they cooperate with the store which have the halal food. So actually they didn't develop the halal database, but they cooperate with the store, the food store, which the halal and the Muslim friendly. So they cooperation about this. So based on the cooperation with the store, the development the halal database. So it's different. The halal database in Korea is in Mobile they develop by develop halal database, but in here is based on the cooperation with the halal store. And also in here is also high delivery cost. Sometimes maybe for the some food is high delivery cost compared to another apps. Uh, Maybe for the remaining apps, for example, Halal Korea, the picture of the app is similar with the MobPay, but for the last one is some picture. For the last one is the picture is only for the traveler in here because this the last one is because they support from the Ministry of the Tourism. This app is they give the halal they give the package from for the tourism traveler. For example, we can use the this app to find the halal to find the some tourist guide, and they can give they for example if we tourism to South Korea and then we can rent the car or the rent the tourist agent. They can if we go to Korea they can give some a spot for the prayer. So if we they know where is the halal food, they know the prayer spot something. So the advantage this app is the friendly for the tourism actually. So
Pak
they
Syarif,
yeah.
may I interrupt you first? Is the slide still long?
Maybe let me 10 minutes, okay?
Uh, um, 10 minutes. Could you please
Okay,
move to
5 minutes.
the main? No, no.
Okay,
The discussion will end at 11. Then we have
okay, okay,
no more than 10 minutes. Could you please move to the main points?
okay, okay. Okay,
Okay.
the main point. Okay, so let's try. So for this, we can see from the move call. So the result, I try to interview for the move call. Their perception about the move call because this accepts the first I the interview they mentioned the usefulness, which mean this app can help them to more productive, which mean perception, which mean this app can give more they more productive, they can reduce their time to use one. This is very high acceptance for the users, and also easy to use also they is very high for these apps. And for the behavioral intention, we can see from the result for the case of the MoveCo is can enhance, which means the behavior of them to use this tendency is also is very good. Is high. But the actually use the intention, yeah, actually I think the intention of the use the MoveCo is 67%, which means this app use in among of the student is relatively the hikes. And the MockPay, we can see from the here the similar I think with the MoveCo usefulness and the easy to use also they saw the high, but the is actual the system use is highest compared to MoveCo because the normally of the students is they have long term to stay in South Korea. So there is a lot of this one to by by daily the daily activity, the daily needs. So they mostly use the MobPay to buy some things with these apps. So they mostly for the daily use they use MobPay. So that's why the actor system use in here is very high. So for the last is discussion. So from this here, so we can see in here the first one is the technology from this app uh, can bridge, I think, the minority to more inclusion. For example, the owner of this app is non-Muslim, but they developed this app for the minority, which means this app can bridge the integration of the minority to non-Muslim in the non-Muslim context to easy daily life. And this is the first, and the second one is social cultural. Hopefully, this app also can help the like for example the support app to support the room prayers, so can also give the adaptation of the social cultural to find some uh, adaptation. And the last is guidance for the stakeholder, which is for the governments and also some the business agency. Maybe they can give this one for the give the make the policy how they can policy. And also the sustainability is important aspects for this thing for this app. For example, because the apps halal is can more advanced to access the food security. So hopefully the food security to in terms of the sustainability we can easy to enhance this one. And the conclusion is halal food is the central for every day and the challenging for the Muslim in South Korea in the term of the minority context. And we can see MUPCO and the MobPay support by the government and you said the most trust application. So extra rate in the student is higher for these apps also, which mean the usefulness and easy to use is good in these apps. And also technology can this is more important but how the technology can empower the religious practice and the community and also the improve the quality of the life. Okay, thank you for the time. Hopefully we can discuss in the remaining time.
Oke.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you Ibu Fadila and also Pak Syarif Hidayat for the presentation. To be honest, this is a new topic for me, and I also believe that this issue also happens in other nations where Muslim communities are a minority. Before inviting other participants to ask or to share about this issue, could you please, Pak Syarif or Bu Fadilah, tell us more about the politics of religion in South Korea? For instance, is there any resistance from some political parties? Because this happens in the Netherlands, where there are two political parties who oppose religious
Hmm.
halal and kosher policies.
Hmm.
But then the Dutch Parliament doesn't agree with the political parties. Pak
Okay.
Syarif.
Okay, thank you, Fadil, for this question. So, in terms of the politics, so maybe before I present, so I read some also some paper in here to present this data. In terms of the political party, because the Korean in term like Christian or something, because the Korean the in term Christian mostly is Protestant in South Korea, the majority compared to the Catholics. So they call sayap kanan, sayap kanan, sayap kanan
Right
Protestan gitu,
wings.
yang jadi ya sayap hand wings of the Protestant. So mostly the influence based on the papers already published, what I read for this reference. So mostly enhanced by the Protestant hand wings to the issue of the Islam phobia, because in South Korea there is the most dominant is by atheists. They don't care about religious, as long as there is uh, doesn't disrupt the private. So, and also from the government is not a big issue in South Korea. For example, in my case, yeah, in my case, in Samtok is very far from the Seoul, very far from the Seoul, because the apa budaya Timur tuh budaya Timur tuh masih sangat tinggi ya, jadi it's very high. For example, me and the professor, contoh misalnya saya bahasa Indonesia ya Pak, misalnya contoh dengan saya dengan profesor. Jadi dalam budaya Korea itu eh, kayak berpakaian jelek, berpakaian kotor itu membawa sial gitu. Jadi dalam masyarakat Korea itu pakaian kotor, pakaian lusuh gitu, tidak rapi itu membawa sial gitu. Jadi kalau kita selama itu rapi, itu kita dihargai. Tapi kalaupun punya banyak uang tapi tidak rapi, itu kadang-kadang mereka tidak mau gitu.
Oke.
Jadi budaya Timur kan sangat kental gitu di situ. Jadi kalau ketemu profesor itu, kalau misalkan kitanya kumuh, mereka nggak mau ketemu gitu. Harus rapi, harus rapi gitu. Itu dalam budaya Timur. Yang kedua LGBT, misalkan dalam isu LGBT, misalkan di Korea isu LGBT itu dalam sosial itu sangat negatif ya gitu. Jadi bisa diasingkan secara budaya ya kalau di yang, tapi kalau di Seoul mereka sudah apa ya, sudah heterogen ya. Jadi isu LGBT, misalkan contoh isu LGBT di Seoul mungkin isu isu hangat ya. Tetapi kalau di daerah terpencil, daerah itu isu negatif gitu ya, LGBT misalkan gitu. Ya seperti itu. Jadi kalau politik, isu anti religius di Korea memang ada, tetapi tidak besar gitu, tidak muncul terlalu ke publik ya, seperti itu sih.
Oke. Oke, thank you, Pak Syarif, for the
Nah,
clarification. Then I would like to invite Pak Habibi, who already raised his hand.
Oke, thank you Pak Rijaya. Big thank to the presenter Pak Syarif and Bu Dila. That was a great presentation, I think. Before I ask something about halal food in Korea, yeah, or halal food app that Muslim student or Muslim traveler that can use this for searching about the halal food in Korea. In the banking context, perhaps that in European banking there are no standalone Islamic banks like in Indonesia, yeah. But there is two product in European banking, Sharia compliant product offer within the conventional bank. So when it comes to food, and especially in Korea, do such restaurant also exist? Or there any restaurant that serve two types of food, halal and non-halal, so that the Muslim student or Muslim traveler went to visit in Korea that can find in the halal food uh, usage or app, and more importantly, do they the full guarantee that the food label as halal is completely halal? Jadi kalau tadi maksudnya yang kalau di Eropa itu kan kita nggak sama sekali mengenal about Islamic Bank like in Indonesia ya. Jadi perbankan syariah itu lebih kepada sebuah produk aja di bank pada umumnya.
Iya, iya betul.
So, ketika itu pada di makanan, especially in Korea, apakah ada satu restoran in Korea that serve two types of food halal and non-halal? Jadi ada nggak sih satu restoran yang dia menyajikan makanan halal, tapi juga menyajikan makanan halal? Bagaimana kemudian itu menjamin for Muslim student in Korea and Muslim traveler in Korea bahwa restoran itu menjamin bahwa ketika dia menjual dua produk itu yang halal memang bisa digunakan, misalkan pada penggunaan panci dan lain sebagainya.
Ya, ya.
Thank you.
Oke.
Thank
Oke,
you.
thank you Pak. Ya, terima kasih Pak Bibi. Mungkin saya jawab dalam bahasa Indonesia ya.
Okay. Yeah, because Pak Sarif,
Eh,
when I
ya,
was
oke, oke.
in Leiden, there's a restaurant saying there's a label on the window of the restaurant saying sate babi halal. Ya,
Oke.
oke, Pak Sarif.
Oke, jadi eh, kalau di Seoul itu memang ada labelingnya. Jadi dari Korea Muslim Federation gitu kalau di Seoul ya. Jadi Korea Muslim Federation itu aktif mensertifikasi restoran gitu ya. Tapi kalau di daerah-daerah yang jauh dari Seoul itu memang sulit dijangkau. Tapi kalau di Seoul itu ada yang memang kalau restoran halal itu ada yang memang tidak menyajikan makanan halal juga ada. Jadi dia itu memang khusus hanya halal saja yang disediakan ada gitu. Jadi itu dapat sertifikasi dari Korean Muslim Federation ya. Tetapi secara umum dulu ya, secara umum Korea itu menyajikan dua jenis makanan gitu ya. Pertama adalah restoran vegetarian dan restoran non vegetarian gitu. Jadi dari sisi perspektif itu dulu ya. Jadi ada vegetarian dan non vegetarian. Jadi kalau di Korea itu bisa kita kalau bukan dalam perspektif agama, jadi kita bisa bertanya apakah ini aman untuk vegetarian apa tidak. Jadi kalau kita ragu hal apa tidak, ini bukan vegetarian apa bukan gitu. Jadi kalau vegetarian kan sudah pasti halal gitu kan kalau untuk vegetarian karena kan semuanya dari tumbuhan tidak ada mengandung dari hewan kan gitu. Jadi kita bisa bertanya itu. Jadi kalau di Korea kita bisa bertanya ini ada vegetarian apa bukan. Jadi isu-isu itu. Tapi kalau di Seoul juga ada yang memang dapat sertifikasi tuh. Jadi eh, di apa ya di kacanya itu ditempel certified by KMF gitu, Korea Muslim Federation gitu. Jadi ada label itu gitu. Kalau di Korea ada beberapa restoran yang dapat label, tapi juga ada yang memang dia hanya menawarkan oh dia ini tidak ada babi gitu ya. Di sini hanya ada sapi dan sebagainya gitu istilahnya begitu. Jadi memang ada labeling dan ada pemisahan juga ada seperti itu di apa ya di sana gitu. Tetapi apa ya isu halal di Korea itu lebih enak bicaranya adalah isu sustainability gitu, isu ke apa ya higienis gitu, isu apa ya kesehatan gitu. Jadi lebih senang ke sana gitu, lebih senang seperti itu karena kan persepsinya adalah prestasi halal itu dalam proses mereka tuh ribet gitu loh. Kok ribet amat gitu. Kalau profesor nanya ribet amat gitu istilahnya ada halal. Tapi kalau ketika bicara dalam isu kesehatan, isu sustainability, keberlanjutan gitu ya, itu ternyata mereka sangat terbuka, sangat senang gitu loh. Kalau isu dibicara isu itu gitu.
Oke.
Karena persepsi awal itu ribet gitu. Jadi bukan masalah negatif ya, ribet gitu. Misalnya mau makan aja pilih-pilih gitu. Intinya begitu. Tapi kalau
Pak
isu di
Sarip, could you
ya.
please close the PPT first
Oke, oke. So,
or
jadi,
unshare screen?
uh,
Okay,
oke, itu.
before closing the discussion, I would like to give another chance for the participants to ask Pak Syarif or Ibu Fadila.
Mungkin Pak itu bisa di close ya?
Di unshare aja. Sharingnya dimatikan saja. Tadi ada permintaan dari audiens supaya
Oke, oke.
supaya tektok. Thank you, Pak Sarip.
Okay, I would like to thank Kak Bati from Sumatera Barat. She's one of our neighbors in Leiden. Thank you, Kak Bati, for joining the discussion. And also, I would like to thank Pak Mualimin, who is Subhatun Nabila, and then Mardia, Istianatul Uluwiyah, and also Sri Nur Fadilah, sorry, for joining the discussion. Is there any other participant who wants to ask questions? Okay. It seems everything is already clear. Thank you, Pak Sarip, and also Bu Fadilah for sharing your knowledge on halal food in South Korea. I believe this topic is important, especially maybe for those who will come to South Korea and then need some food. Your presentation about the apps will be valuable for the visitors. And also, I believe that this issue also happens, as I already underlined, in other nations where Muslim community is the minority. So speaking about halal food is important like other Islamic duties like prayer and so on and so forth. Before closing the discussion, I just want to tell you that next week, inshallah, on let's see, 19 June. Yeah, 19 June, there will be another discussion. We will have Wina Sumiati who will present a topic, digital dakwah in the modern era, the role of NU Garis Lucu, AISNU, and also Pondok Sanad in engaging the younger generation. So I invite you to join us again next week, inshallah, and hopefully this discussion will last until maybe more than 30 sessions in the following weeks. Thank you, Pak Syarif, and also Bu Fadila, and also
Ya,
maybe Habibi,
sama.
will you take some pictures?
Okay. Where is Bu Fadila? Can you open your camera?
In the
Or
toilet.
other participant?
Thank you. We close this discussion by reciting Hamdalah. Alhamdulillah, amin.
Alhamdulillah.
We will share the recording on YouTube. You can type in the Indonesian's digital. Indonesian Institute for Digital Humanities. We have all the recordings posted on this channel. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Pak Syarif, Bu Dila. Terima
Ya,
kasih Mbak Isma
sama-sama.
sudah menyertai all partisipan. Terima kasih.